Continue, but guests today have Madeline Carlson, Maria Atkinson, Ryan and Jennifer Messer, which I think are right over here somewhere. Yeah, thank you. Monica Kale is a guest of Felix Wright. Thank you. Venus Lomelli is a guest of Rotary, and somewhere also the same spot. Okay, there's the guest table over there. Tracy Udell, guest of Bob Udell. Right. And Brenda Esquivel, guest of Rotary, and Anthony Peterson, guest of Rotary.
Is there no sound?
Right. Welcome all. Glad to have you here.
Oh, it's right here. It's the red one.
And now one of our favorite things we get to do, Dave Brown
will be up to introduce a new member.
Can't all be able to share where
I know.
Come on out. I'll get out of the way.
Good afternoon. I get a distinct pleasure introducing Clark Bowman. He's a senior wealth advisor with his company Financial Management Incorporated. He's founded that about 28 years ago. I first met Clark about many years ago when he did some retirement planning workshop for the city upstairs in the cop shop. Clark was raised in Idaho and Utah, where he attended Brigham Young University and majored in political science. How's that wealth management? But I'm not sure. Clark started financial management in 1997. Clark and his wife Tanya have raised 4 children. And one of his sons, McKay, is a project manager for TTC Excavating, and we've had the pleasure for the last month working with him on a project for the city. Clark enjoys working in his shop on anything with a motor, and he especially enjoys winter activities in the mountains where he routinely prays for snow. But really it's the summer water supply that I like part of it. Clark was a member of the club some 10 years or so ago when life just got in the way of being a good Rotarian, so he dropped out to work on his family and his career. And now he has some time to devote to our club and our activities. So welcome back, Clark. Please join me in welcoming Clark Bowman, the finest Rotary Club in Yakima.
You've got to get all the treats here. Some of which you probably had before. Your plaque, the blue book, the famous license plate, and then, of course, your red badge, which you have to go through education again.
I will.
Yeah, you can do that. All right.
Thank you.
All right, welcome, Clark. Upcoming in just 2 weeks, 1 week, is our ski day, and here to hear more about it is Craig Mendenhall.
Thank you, John. Our honorary club president, Bob Schultz, that would be Tyler's dad, started this thing 1,000 years ago. This thing, like so many things in our club, is one of the reasons that we are the finest Rotary Club in America. So this thing is Rotary Ski Day. Now please note that probably less than half the people who attend this function actually ski during that day. Most of us don't. We're there for the party. And it really is a great party. So in the kitchen we'll have Mike and Nancy Cocaine, and they're going to be fixing our prime ribs, emphasis on ribs, mini ribs. And they do an excellent job. And I'm shamelessly modest about one thing. I am always the first person in the buffet line. So don't even think about getting in my way, because that's a bad thought. So most of us bring our spouses or our significant others, and those that have guts bring both. Ed, that's funny. That's a funny joke. I just put that in there. Anyway, this is the best party we have every year, and it's going to be a week from tomorrow. It's at the Schultz Cabin. The Schultz Cabin is on Highway 12, and it's 5 miles on the other side of the tunnel. There'll be a big sign out. Turn right where you see the sign, go to the very top of the hill. There'll be beer and wine and some soft drinks, big fire going, and for many of, show of hands, how many people have been there before? Well, looks like just about everybody, so that's proof positive that this really is a great function, and make sure to come and join us. Thank you. one more thing, to double down on the fun, you might want a carpool. It's just a lot easier. Thank you.
Although Tyler says there isn't any snow, despite the fact that Clark would like some, there probably would be more parking than there is sometimes would have been up there. So, and I thought that the current president always got first in line. Not so. Well, c'est la vie. What can I tell you? But we do have something else coming up with food and food required, and Sarah Morgan will be here to talk about that.
We have lobster. We are doing a Lobster Drive. What is a Lobster Drive? Penticton has been doing a lobster feed for like 15 years. They went to a drive-through 2 years ago during COVID, and they said they're never going back to a sit-down. They make great money for Rotary. Drive-through, pick up your lobster and your sides and dessert, or they're also going to have a Wagyu, sous vide Wagyu beef for the other options. So thank you to Waterfire Restaurant, Darren Davis, chef. He is donating all of this to our Rotary Club. And sign up, drive through, get your lobster. Okay?
You should have a sign-up form on your table. Sign up. As opposed to voting, this is one of those things where you can sign up often and sign up more than once. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for some great lobster and a great way to support the club. So we really appreciate you bringing it. It's not, of course, just restricted to Rotary members. So as Craig said, you can bring your wife or your significant other or both. So if he can do that, I think he's only safe in doing that because Jan's in Mexico, so that's probably how he gets away with it. But anyway, please sign up if you would, please. So we need to know as probably by, I think it's by next Friday, or next Thursday, is it? Yes, we need to have the numbers because we have to order the lobster. Darren has been able to get some lobster that was set aside for, I think, Rosario or one of the other places, and he was able to snag it for us. So that's a great opportunity. Now, another great thing we get to do is give away some money. And Mike Maples is here to do that.
Yeah, so I get to transition us from the thing we do second best, which is eat and party, to the thing we do best, which is give away money. So I have the honor of being the chair of the Allocations and Review Committee. It's a pretty awesome pleasure to have to give away the money that you so diligently earned and so generously gave. So we have 3 awards to make today. The first is for People to People. I think everybody here knows People for People and knows something about the amazing services that they provide. But one of those shining stars is the Meals for Wheels program. Currently, and this is according to the application, a number that is skyrocketing, they're serving 14,000 meals a day. And they do that. They have a warehouse and an administrative building, which are already too small for the program, and then they have to send that money out to they have to send those groceries out to no less than 3 kitchens to cook the meals and then deliver them on 14 different routes and 6 different service centers. So this project creates for them a appropriately sized warehouse administrative space, a service space, and most importantly, a commercial kitchen to handle all of that load. I just, at the table, had to update my figures here. They've had a very successful capital campaign and raised $600,000 to date towards this, and Rotary is contributing another $3,000 to their effort. And here to accept the award are the co-chairs of the capital campaign, Maureen Adkisson and Ryan Messer, and the CEO of People for People and Rotarian, Madeline Carlson. So if you'd please come up.
give it to you, because I'm not sure we can trust either of those with the money. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank you so much,
Thanks. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. So great.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're
Good to see you, Ray.
pose for Laura here.
Please.
Yeah.
There's room.
Come on.
All right, I'll stay in the back.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next up is Foster First. So Foster First is a Yakima base, but I just learned they also have offices in Wenatchee and are opening one now in Tri-Cities since 2003, but they changed their name in the last few years. You might recognize them as Community Resource Group. So their mission is to empower youth and families for lifelong success, and they do that through intensive case management and wraparound services and placement services for at-risk youth, for foster services. And they license therapeutic foster homes for that purpose. So they currently have bought and have started the process of remodeling a facility in Yakima that will be a transitional housing facility for those youth going into or to and from foster care. The budget for that project is $250,000, and they're receiving an award for $2,000. And here to receive the award are the Director for Community Engagement, Venus Romelli, and the Executive Director, Jessica Cruz. Ladies, would you?
Yeah.
We know there's room.
Is Brenda Escobar. Thank you.
I got that one.
What's that? We switched the names on you. It's okay. We switched the names on you last night.
Sorry, we had a change in the program. That was Brenda Escobar is the Executive Director. Sorry. And our third award goes today to an organization that's no stranger to this club. Most of you in Yakima Rotary will recognize the name of Project Mercy. We've been engaged with them in a number of ways, more than 25 years since Frank Bacon introduced Marta and Deme to this club. And many Rotarians have been to Yetabon, Ethiopia to participate in the construction of the hospital there and other projects like clean drinking water project. And this grant is related to that. We've assisted with those programs in the past, but this year they had a storm, specifically lightning strikes, that took out a lot of the infrastructure for their water projects. And so $3,000 is going to Project Mercy to assist with the repairs of those water projects. And we're particularly pleased to know that that this is going to be leveraged and essentially doubled through a matching grant by the Jackson Kemper Foundation. And here to receive the award for Project Mercy is the current board chair, Bruce Bacon.
You're trustworthy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. That's all the grants we have for today, but I do want to remind you that we're more than halfway through the Rotary year, but less than halfway through our gift budget for the award budget for the allocations and review committee. So if you know of Rotary projects or worthy community projects that meet the club's goals and requirements of being a nonprofit, Yakima-focused, innovative, and especially focusing on the needs of families and children, we'd be happy to talk to you about that relatively simple application process. So let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's always great to see the fact of the work that all of you do to raise the funds to actually go out to worthy projects around our community. One thing before our illustrious Sergeant-at-Arms comes up here, and that is to tell you that I think most of you have probably been reading, maybe probably sadly, that March 12th, the mask mandate is being lifted. Now, I know that probably will hurt a lot of you, but if in fact that also means, and I checked with our leader here, John Cooper of the Convention Center, which means that beginning next week, your mask will be optional. So you can think about that. A lot of us may continue to wear them at times, but just be aware that it will be optional after, this will be the last meeting. Now, don't be too sad, and I would also remind you that I would keep it in hand, knowing what's been happening recently. And with that, our Sergeant-at-Arms, Ralph Thompson.
Thank you, President John. It's nice to be up here with you today. I'd like to welcome our guests from Peru. Not many people know this, but I'm quite a musician myself. I know 2 songs on my ukulele, 2, and one is 5'2", and the other is Ain't She Sweet, and you'd think that might be a problem in my career, but it isn't, because no one's ever asked for a third. Anyway, we're going to do some questions on Rotary history. The first question, and this is open to the entire group, when was Rotary founded? Anyone? Raise your hand and say 1905. And who was the founder? Paul Harris. Everybody knows that. How many original members? Good. Now, the original purpose of Rotary was camaraderie, and I just learned from Craig today it was business networking, and it was not until about 1920 that it became service-oriented, so I thought that was interesting. Where did the term Rotary come from? Why did they use the term Rotary? Different offices. They met in different offices till they got larger, and then they met in a regular place. This is going really well. Rotary grew fast. How many members today? Raise your hand and then tell me how many members. Someone, incoming president. How many Rotary members today?
1.1 million. 1.4.
Do I hear more? 1.4. And the interesting growth of Rotary, obviously Rotary was founded in Chicago, but it was on the West Coast that it grew first. San Francisco, 1908, the second Rotary Club. Number 3 was Oakland, and then came Seattle. And this is for the Cougars in the audience. How many? We have Cougars here today. WSU Cougars. We have quite a few. Why is the Seattle Club called Seattle Number 4? Any answers? How about the Huskies? Does anybody know? Okay, Huskies and Cougars pay $1. There's a very interesting history to me that the Tacoma Number 8, which was founded in 1921, sponsored the establishment of the Rotary Club of Paris. Now, who would have thought? From Tacoma to Paris. They founded the Paris Rotary Club. I've been there. It's a wonderful club. Presently, it meets in a 2-star restaurant and a 5-star hotel, and they have 220 members. So, good for the Tacoma Club. In 1921, this is for, let's see, who is this for? Anyone who might know this is for lawyers and judges. Do we have any lawyers and judges here today? Well, someone's pointing at one. She doesn't raise her hand, but I see here. The Tacoma Club gave a gift to the Paris Club when they were chartered. Does anybody know what the gift was? The fact that I called on lawyers and judges could be a little hint. Anybody? Who said that? right here, pay $1. Good job. And all the lawyers and judges pay $1 too. I don't want you to feel left out. One last thing, and I'm sorry Paul Larson isn't here today. Oh, hi Lars. You were going to laugh when I pointed at you, right? Yes, okay. In 1923, the Tacoma Club changed the name of its club newsletter from the Gyroscope to the Gear Shift. And this is the name they use to this day. And I was going to tell Larson that the folks from Tacoma have a certain je ne sais quoi. Anyway, when traveling abroad, make up meetings at Rotary clubs as you travel. They're wonderful experiences. How many people traveling abroad have made up at Rotary clubs? That's pretty good. Pay $1, thank you. One last thing, I remember making up at a venerable Swiss club in the 80s. And as you walked into the room, there was a portable wet bar, and on the tables, they had wine. And being curious as I am, I asked someone, how much wine per person? They said 1/3 liter per Rotarian. I thought, So John, you might want to bring that up with the board, get us tuned up for the meeting. Anyway, you could not call the membership young. It reminded me of the phrase, a place 90-year-old men take their fathers to lunch. The speaker that day was a scientist. He was earnest and knowledgeable and had lots of facts about Lake Geneva warming. And it was interesting, but not what you'd call a stem winder. Midway through the speech, I looked around the room, and there were quite a number of Rotarians sleeping very comfortably. So, last question, the four-way test applies. Show of hands, have you ever slept during a Rotary speaker presentation? Raise your hand. Okay, that's not very good. If you didn't raise your hand, pay $1. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. That reminds me, actually, you reminded me of the club I went to in Morelia, Mexico, where I was introduced as the visitor from Yakima, Washington, and we were going to do a service project. And as I went to stand up, I hit my scotch glass, which they had forced on me, of course, against the Rotary bell and shattered it all over the head table. So I figured I'd like to make impressions. So anyway, with our program today, we have a really special treat, and Charlie Robin will be here to introduce them and to bring them up on stage. So I offered to be the soloist with them, but he doesn't want that.
Thank you, John Ball. Well, it's why I bring in the professionals, because when I screw up the national anthem, at least I bring in the better groups to actually do the job for us. So, this is another opportunity where this is like the definition of why I love my job so much. And my husband, as we're sitting at Collaboration Coffee last night, celebrating our 30th anniversary, amen, we are sitting, and he's getting young people to play along at a jam session with the group, and he just turns to me and goes, God, I love your job. It's like, boy, I love my job too, I have to say, because I get to bring in really extraordinary artists, introduce them to the community, and introduce the community to them, but also you to them to you, because this conversation that we create, especially a global conversation, is I think what makes the biggest difference for how we have meaningful dialogue in the world. And I find the best way to do that is with music. So thanks to a U.S. State Department program called Center Stage, there are a half a dozen artists, 4 to 6 groups that are chosen every other year. Each group is given a month-long tour in the States.
This group specifically started off in Gainesville, Florida, had a little break in Miami, went up to Baltimore, performed at the Kennedy Center in D.C., came here to Yakima for a week, and then they'll go to New York City and perform in Lincoln Center. So all the best venues. They're from Arequipa, Peru, from the southern part of Peru. They're called Lundú, and we'll hear a word from them, and I'll come back. Sorry.
Sí. Perdido entre tu casa y mi casa, ser el calor que no abraza, no es de goce, no es de ira, como tampoco es mentira que algo de mí se ha escondido entre tu calle y mi alma. Será tal vez la esperanza de un cariño adormecido. Yo sabré reír, yo sabré llorar, yo sabré entregarte mi cariño. Negra que te quiero, negra presuntuosa, que me estoy muriendo, mira de tu boca, que me están pisando los talones de la libertad. Negra que te quiero, negra presuntuosa, que me estoy muriendo, mira de tu boca, que me están pisando los talones de la tal vez la esperanza de un cariño adormecido, y sabré reír, yo sabré llorar, yo sabré entregarte mi cariño. Negra negra que te quiero, negra presuntuosa, que me estoy muriendo, mira de tu boca, que me están pisando los talones de la libertad. Negra, negra que te quiero, negra presuntuosa, y que me estoy muriendo, vida de tu boca, que me están pisando los talones de la libertad. Presuntuosa, negra, negra, vida de tu boca, negra dolorosa, negra presuntuosa, dame de tu boca, presuntuosa, negra, negra. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to do my best to get through the names. So we've got our artistic director, the leader of the group is Diego, Fernando, Mari, Robert, Sebastian, Diego, Kanko. Ana is the company manager, and the tour manager is Max. We got. And then Ralpho is their audio engineer, who is also a very fine musician. So is Max. I'm just waiting to hear Anna sing. That's the only thing I'm missing at this point. We have had a lot of fun this week because they arrived on Tuesday. We had a welcoming reception, a potluck at the house, and then last night we were at Collaboration Coffee. A huge thanks to them for a tremendously fun, welcoming space to bring people from around the community in to share and do a jam session. And they played a little. Other musicians played a little, they played together, it was great. We had a school show this morning with our Capital Kids series. We're going to tour around the valley. We're going to Washington Fruit this afternoon for a tour of the production line. We're going to Bellbreaker for a tour of the production line, maybe a taste test. Heading up to Treveri to get a view of the area, of course, and see what else we can see. And then tomorrow we've got a school show at 10, and then an evening concert at 7:30. And by the way, there are tickets still remaining, just so you know. So we've got them very busy, but it's possible to have them here, and especially for this length of time, because of the support that we have from so many different sponsors in the community and from the U.S. State Department. The U.S. State Department has been sponsoring this program, the fifth program that they've done. I was really fortunate 8-10 years ago to go to Morocco to help select the artists that would come to the United States then. So this process of going through it, I'd love to have you talk about, for you, what was it like to go through the process, finding out about the program, going through what it meant to meet with the agents and the people who were sponsoring it to then be selected?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for receiving us today. You have a wonderful group. And okay, we make the request, I think, November 2019, before COVID. Everything was normal, and we are preparing to have a show to center stage, and then COVID happened. We have to wait 2 years, 2 hard years for us to, at least we don't see each other 1 year. 1 year not rehearsing, one year not seeing us. Okay, now we are almost 1 month seeing us together. We don't want to see us, no? No more. But like I said to Center Stage, Deidre, there was Center Stage was a beacon. It was a goal to be here, to all the rehearsals, all the sacrifice, all the training that we have to make to be here. And we are really, really glad to pass all these steps and being here playing to you.
And then, how does the State Department go about actually connecting with the artists? You know, when like every program is in a different country. So how did you end up hearing about the program initially?
Okay, first of all, we need to say our manager is Anita Quintanilla.
And Anna, feel free to come on up and you can help answer questions as we go.
She is the responsible.
You come sit.
Well, hello everyone. This opportunity came like a blessing for us. I just like looking around the internet, and I saw the campaign of Center Stage, so I prepared all documents that we had. But that time we only had like 1 album on Spotify, so we were touring in Argentina and Panama with the Sonamos Latinoamérica. It's a festival of folk music of Latin America. And well, we only had that material. And well, it was such a surprise to see that we were selected in between 160 artists in between Colombia and Peru. And on this is the 5th edition of Center Stage. And from Peru, there are only 3 companies that are going to do the same tour for other cities around USA. And from Colombia, 2 companies. And yeah, well, it has been such an amazing trip for us. The Center Stage is amazing with us, all the whole organization, and well, all the contact and all the things, all the work that I had to do for these 2 years is with Deidre Valente and Lisa Booth and all the company of all the ¿cómo se dice? Equipo de trabajo. The teamwork of Center Stage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have, don't go far, just hang out. I'm sure they're going to rely on you. We have, it's a program that is run by the U.S. State Department, sponsored by the U.S. State Department. The New England Foundation for the Arts then manages the funding, and then Lisa Booth Agency is the agent that works with the company to help actually go to the countries, working with presenters like myself to not only help select the artists, but then also to arrange all of these great residencies. Now, you're hearing an acoustic version here today. You have a lot more flair, a lot more, Sebastian does actually play a bass, and he plays a mean bass. So but we didn't bring the amp along, so.
These little basses.
So I'd love you to talk about, so how do you define the style of your music and your primary musical influences?
Actually, right now we are playing Afro-Peruvian music. It's a traditional music from our country. So we try to do this kind of music with a new sounds with a contemporary one. So we have influence from jazz, yeah, because Fernando and me, also Robert and Basti, we love jazz and American music. Also, we have the influence from Andean music. It's a very particular thing that we have to say, because Robert, like he played in the last song, he played this instrument that is not common in the Afro-Peruvian music, you know? It's this instrument called quena, and the quena is only, usually it's only with in the Andean music. So we are trying to make new sounds, to use different instruments and create new sounds. That's the deal for us. So this is one point. Another point that we try to express between our music is the woman role. It's correct, with the woman role. So it's the reason that we have Mari Katia in the lead vocals. So it's very important to us to give to the woman this kind of, I don't know how to say. Yeah, this space in the arts. You know, it's very important for us because in Latin America it's this is controversial, you know, and at these times with the treat for the women. So yeah, we try to make this for all the women that I mean, all the women are capable to do everything that she proposed. So sorry for my English. So that's the deal for us. Yeah, this is.
I love when people who speak English this well as a second language apologize when we all know how poorly we would begin to speak theirs, or so many of us. So, here we go. Mari, we had the great opportunity yesterday as well to do a performance at Ike, at Eisenhower High School. We were looking at a workshop opportunity. Well, it kept getting bigger and kept getting bigger because all the history classes, the English language learners, the foreign language students, as well as the music students. So we ended up having almost 400 students in the Ike auditorium yesterday. And I think the guys might have gotten a little bit of a little hurt because every time Mari stepped up, the school went nuts. They absolutely love it. Mari could do no wrong. So in all praise to such a beautiful voice, and she has such a lovely presence. Now, you've had the chance to experience some of the finest that Yakima has to offer. We took them to Miners for lunch yesterday. What about, so I understand that hamburgers are a definite favorite. While you've been in the States and you've had a chance to be everything from Florida to Baltimore, D.C., Yakima, what have you been enjoying the most in terms of seeing a bit more, getting to see the States for the first time, experiencing American culture? What's been impressing you or not impressing you? Feel free. That's right, Mike.
Okay, I'll start with my favorite thing. We had the opportunity to meet the National Aquarium in Baltimore. It was amazing. I know that you have a reservation here, Reserva?
Yep.
National? Is National?
The Yakima Nation?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if there is a chance, we will need to meet them. What else?
The NBA game.
The NBA
Yeah. Basketball.
Miami Heat and Spurs. The Spurs?
Yes.
Miami
Spurs.
Heat and Spurs.
Miami Heat.
It was amazing. So such a great experience.
When we came from Seattle to here, we had the chance to see the landscape that you have in the mountains, the misty. Oh, it was beautiful, really, really beautiful. Reminds to us, we came from a place that we have 4 volcanoes in Arequipa. It's very mountain. We have, okay, we're speaking in meters, 2,300 meters is a little bit high to us, but the landscape is, with mountains. And this is that we can see. Okay, not so high, but we can see.
One thing I do want to make certain we do before we leave is as many as us that can get into a picture as possible with the Rotary banner behind. As Anna was sharing with me, there is, not surprisingly, a Rotary chapter in Arequipa, and I would love for us to be an opportunity to promote the group to the Arequipa Rotary. So if we can share a picture with them, we'll make time for that at the end. And we also want to make time for them to provide us yet another song, but I also want to give a chance to have any of you ask any questions that you might have of the group, of their experiences. Anyone have? It's not a shy group, they just take a minute to warm up. Who's coming to the show on Friday night already? Who already knows they're coming? I know we got some people who are some people are going to be buying tickets, thank you. questions that you have? You know me, I'm not afraid to hold the mic. I'm not afraid to talk, but I want to give you a chance. Go.
Where do you normally perform? What kind of location?
What are the types of venues? Because you've been on 3 international tours so far?
Yes.
Okay, we have to try to have this close relationship with the public, with the crowd, because sometimes when we play, we have chill out, laid back rhythms, and we need to connect. We need to see the people in the crowd. I think when we play in small places like theaters, like this Capitol Theater, beautiful theater, it's good for us. You can see all the details that Fernando, Basti, Diego prepare. That's it. I love to play in theater. Yeah.
Do you do club work as well? Are you in nightclubs and cabaret spaces, small venues as well as large? Yeah. And what are the other countries that you've been to? You mentioned Argentina.
Yeah, we were on Argentina, on Panama, and also in Chile. We used to play there for small tours. So
perfect.
Yep.
So you go from here to Lincoln Center. What a step! And then so that will then finish up your trip. What's waiting for you when you get home? What's your next? Now that you're performing again and you like each other again.
I think we should keep working. Yeah. We will keep working.
Yeah, we're expecting to do a concert for the people in Arequipa after the long tour. So yes, that's.
Yeah, keep working. You know?
Yeah, a little celebration coming home. Good. Yeah, Rick.
How long have you played together, and how did you come together as a group?
Yes, 6 years, 7 years, and.
Okay. Diego and Canco are brothers. Yeah.
Diego and Canco are brothers?
Brother.
Yeah, I know Canco and Diego like this. Yeah. Diego, father was teacher with music. Yeah. They are students in the university, and Diego is professor teacher with Fernando, and also Maricati is a professor. He's a music teacher, and he teach Basti, yeah, and Miguito, yeah, that he's in the band from the beginning.
All right. We've got a time for another song, so I'm going to turn it back to them, let them give us a little bit more entertainment. Again, the show is on Friday at 7:30. As soon as they're done singing, please do come on up and let's get a picture for them, because I'd love to make that connection. Lundú.
Este secreto seguirá escondido una eternidad. Yo te aseguro nunca diré nada de lo que pasó. Y no te preocupes que todo lo nuestro queda entre tú y yo. Este secreto que tienes conmigo nadie lo sabrá. Este secreto seguirá escondido una eternidad. Yo te aseguro nunca diré nada de lo que pasó. y no te preocupes, que es todo lo nuestro queda entre tú y yo. Nadie sabrá de tu pecho, juntito al mío al latido, que disfrutamos instantes de fascinante dulzura. Nunca diré que hubo noches que te adoré con locura. Nadie sabrá que en tus brazos, borracha de amor, me quedé dormida. Fascinante dulzura. Nunca diré que hubo noches que te adoré con locura. Nadie sabrá que en tus brazos, borracha de amor. Hoy nadie sabrá que en tus brazos, borracha de amor, me quedé dormida. Yo no lo diré, lo diré. Nadie lo sabrá, yo no lo diré, lo diré. Nadie lo sabrá, yo no lo diré, lo diré. Nadie lo sabrá, yo no lo diré, lo diré. Nadie lo sabrá, yo no lo diré, lo diré. Nadie lo sabrá, yo no lo diré, lo diré. Te estoy buscando.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you just stay there, and we'll, let me turn this back on here, if I can find it.
Yes. Anyway, thank you very much. That's great. And we'll have everyone possibly come up here right afterwards. But just to conclude the meeting today, there is a Youth Service Committee meeting right after this with Sonia Rodriguez-True. I don't know where there she is. She's way over here. And in your honor, we'll also be giving a book today in your name to one of the community centers here in Yakima. So we do that for every speaker, so we appreciate you in that regard. And
Next week, we'll be hearing about the myths of work-life balance here at the Convention Center, followed by the president at CWU the following week. So with that, we are adjourned, but please, everyone, come up and join this wonderful group for a photo op. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was wonderful. That's terrific.
Thank you very much.
Good.